is Defying the Storm. So here again, we have that same step in. You will have seen me demo in some of my videos that double block for 5 swords, but that step in is very much there below the elbow with the left hand, above on the bicep or into the shoulder, depending on depth of action, with the actual right hand in this case. But you are double blocking and stopping that arc of that strike as well. Again, knowing that we're interfering and meeting the action in this case, as opposed to letting it pass us, as some of our techniques would do today. So again, we have that step in. As usual, you have the arm drag. Here, it's done more of a cloth drag, which is interesting. Whereas I have seen this done, obviously, and in some versions, you will see it done where the elbow is actually the pivot point here, and it becomes a shoulder arm lock. So when you pull, you elevate the wrist, and you pull the elbow back in this way, kind of creating a snapping motion, and bringing the person into this position as well. Here, interestingly, back in the 60s, it was more of a cloth grab at that point. And, again, probably is in some cases still a cloth grab today, but I've seen it done where it is the arm that you're actually moving, that you're jarring the elbow, as I said, and applying that shoulder arm lock in this position. But this is a cool little note that I've literally just picked up as we're going through this as well. And then here you have a knee followed by a kick. So the knee being the first impact, and then the kick to, I would presume, groin, possibly other leg or support leg if obviously it's available to you. But again, you'll notice that you're using the knee into kick here as well. Something similar to what we would see in fallen cross when we hit the knee across the arms across the knee, and then we kick to the groin and we land with our elbow. In this technique, we today typically do a kick and we follow it with an inward downward elbow like so, or inward downward overhead elbow, or whatever complexity we want to add to the name. You get the idea. It's a big circling elbow that drops inward on top of the person. But ultimately, when we drop it in, that's how we would do it today. But as we notice here, Parker is actually doing an upward elbow. So again, he's landed in a position where the hand is already chambered low and the kick has gone low. The person is probably sitting low, and now he hits that upward elbow, as opposed to what we typically see today, which is that inward downward elbow at this point as well. So again, just a little nice variation that we see. And I quite like the upward elbow. Me being me, I like to be in close. I like to be moving with people. And that upward elbow or brushing the hair motion is always something very simple and very easy. And a lot of people still teach that today in modern combatives or, reality-based self-defense situations and so on. These are things that come out naturally at a close range. So I do quite like that as opposed to the big circling one, which makes sense when you have that range. And again, if you're grabbing the shoulder as we saw here, or the jacket when we saw here, you are by nature going to be that little bit closer to the body, hence why you would do your knee and then your kick. In the version that I've talked about, when we step back and we do that pull on the elbow, you now have the distance between the elbow and the shoulder to, it's extra distance, extra range. So your kick can be a little bit longer. You might not hit the knee immediately, and you do have distance and time for that kind of circular elbow, as we said, coming down rather than coming up. So in this one, we're a little bit closer on the weapon, which makes sense. You want to smother the person's action. You want to make sure that they can't do what they need to do, or have a follow up at that point. So an interesting take on the technique, where we might have gone from a slightly closer range version of this technique to a slightly more extended range version of this technique as well. Let me know what you think. Do you like this version or do you like the new version? Personally speaking, I kind of like this version. Not gonna lie.